I would say I can attribute 1.89% of my sales to this podcast. So,
and now we've risen past mediocre.
And I can just ship this in a poly bag, right? So, as long as it doesn't move, right?
Yeah. Maybe we can throw it off the building when we throw the mugs.
Stew on it? No pun intended.
Yeah.
I wanna throw shrimp at you. I wish I could. We're very emotional in our selling, not just our buying.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Finders Flippers Resell podcast, and I'm Wes, and joined again tonight by Johnny and Stewart. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me this evening.
What's going on, guys? And hey, just wanted to say real quick, we are up to 42 subscribers, and we thank you guys so much. If you have gotten here already, please hit that like button before you don't like it. Yes, yeah, we need you to hit that like button before you don't like it, and if by some crazy chance you like it, subscribe too.
One of the things we had talked about last week was, as we go to the yard sales this past weekend, can you find something, source something that you never really buy or even look at? So we're kind of go around the horn here, and let's see what each of us was able to pick up, even if we didn't really want to. Stewart, I'll start with you.
All right. Well, hey, mine was this right here. I'm actually wearing it. As you've heard on some of the past podcasts, I don't normally buy clothes, but I thought this shirt looked cool, so I thought it would be a cool thing to take a chance on and see how it goes. If I don't decide to keep it for myself, this thing's pretty stylish, you got to admit. So
it is pretty stylish. I will admit that. Now, what brand is that?
It's let's see if I can remember. It's a Gayateca. It's a Mexican brand, so I'm pretty sure it's like vintage from either the 60s or 70s, just based on the little bit of research that I did, which just involved Googling the brand. And so, yeah, it's a pretty cool shirt, and it looks like they do sell. So maybe $20 to $30 might be something I can get out of it. So who knows? Maybe I'll turn into a clothes seller after this.
Now, how much did that set you back?
It's kind of part of a bundle of stuff I bought. I would say I don't have more than $1 or $2 in it, when it comes down to it. So yeah, pretty good purchase, I think, and we'll see how my return goes. Like I said, hey, I may just decide to keep it. When I hit the discos, this might be just the thing. So.
And you might be right, Stewart. You may be onto something now that clothing by Franklin Hill Ventures. So, John, let's roll over to you. Let's see what you were able to pick up.
I went coffee mug. This is just a Starbucks coffee mug, but it's actually from Prague, and it's part of the You Are Here series. And these actually don't go for much at all, but depending upon the city, they can. And this being from Prague, comps are like $40. 3. The guy wanted 4, but I had 3 singles, which was probably $2 more than I wanted to spend on it. Like in my head, it was $1, and he said 4, and I was like, whoa. But we came on 3, but it's a Christmas scene, so I'll probably be holding on to that for a little while. But come Christmas time, $35-$40.
Well,
I'd go ahead and list it, Johnny. I just sold a Christmas plate yesterday, in fact. So,
and I can just ship this in a poly bag, right, Stewart?
Yeah, just throw it in there and it'll be fine. So,
as long as it doesn't move, right?
Put many poly bags around.
Or put the poly bag inside of a cereal box, and then I think you'll be good.
Okay. I think we should do a test, and we just go to Goodwill and we buy like 20 coffee mugs, and we just ship them with a different amount of poly bags protecting it, and see what the magic number is. We're sending coffee mugs in poly bags.
So there it is, folks. You can go to Johnny's store and say, "Hey, ship that thing in a poly bag." Let's see what.
It's kind of like the thing you did in high school where you throw eggs off the roof, to figure out the best way to protect them. We can do the same thing with coffee mugs. Or we can just throw them off of a building. That'd be fun. We can, pack them in different ways, throw them off a building and see if they survive.
What a great video.
I like where this is going. I like where this is going. I saw a TikTok the other day where the guy took a uncooked spaghetti noodle and checked if he could hold himself up and see how many spaghetti noodles it would take to like hold a human. It's like the same thing.
Well,
I'm sure it's got like 19 million views, and he made like $13,000 on it.
Right. So. Well, Johnny, I kind of went your route. I also went coffee mugs. They always say nothing runs like a deer, so I got the double whammy here.
Nice.
So this is good stuff. This is
and they're older too.
They are older and they're kind of faded, licensed product, but that's not all. Check this out. I even went and bought a I Love New York coffee mug. Okay. Underneath here. And to top it off, this one's quite interesting as well.
A little Oswald the Rabbit, huh?
Yeah. And this is from Disneyland.
Cool.
Nice.
It's got a Disney Parks thing on the bottom of it. Now, all four of those, yes, gentlemen, I know you may be amazed by this. I paid $0.25 a piece for them. The lady had them out on a trailer, and water was all in them. So I was helping the lady pour them out. So she cut me a deal, $4.
Better your mugs than my shirt. So that would have not been good if that was on the trailer. Hey, we need to combine your coffee mug with the box I found this weekend. It's like a 1980s Disney World box. I think that would fit well in there.
Look at that.
Although this is Disney World, not Disneyland. So.
That's okay. That's all right. They're both together. So we'll combine the two and we'll put in, make sure it don't move. We'll call it the Johnny packing.
I like it. Stewart, I have a question. As the China King of Knoxville, would you have purchased any of these items that Wes and I picked up?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually sold a coffee mug today. And the good thing with coffee mugs, you can usually find them. I mean, a lot of times at yard sales, they're like $0.25. And
that's what they are.
So I think the one I sold today, I sold for $18, and it was some country music tour from the 90s. I can't even remember the name of it. I think it was an orange juice brand, I think. But so yeah, I mean, I always pick up coffee mugs if they're cheap enough. There's people are always looking to, I guess, spice their morning coffee up with a different mug.
Well, I think to me this one's neat because it's a licensed product. It's got the John Deere on the bottom here, but it looks vintage to me. It looks,
Yeah, and you can tell on the John Deere logos because the back legs aren't touching the side.
Oh, so that's a sign of how old the logo is, Johnny.
So
the new John Deere logo, his back legs touch the side.
Oh, okay.
Where when you can see clearance between his back legs and the side, those are older.
Oh,
I'm not sure the exact year they changed their logo, but it's all pushing vintage at this point.
So if we learn nothing else on this podcast today, we've learned about how to date John Deere stuff. So.
Well, and be willing to go parts of the yard sale that you may not go to. Because, I mean, who knows? We're going to put these up and see how well we do with them. I'm interested to see if they sell and when they sell. And so,
yeah, hopefully one of us can report back next week that we sold our thing that we don't normally buy.
Stewart, if you're crying next week and not wearing the shirt, we'll know you had to part with it.
It's actually a really good looking shirt. I'll have to give you props on that.
Yeah, it's making me crave hibachi.
It does look a little like what you'd wear at the hibachi grill, doesn't it?
I wanna throw shrimp at you. I wish I could.
Maybe I need to keep it for when the reselling gets slow. Yeah, I thought one thing we could talk about tonight, if y'all want to, is just like, do you do offers on the different platforms you sell on? What's been your experience with those? Do you send offers out? Do you let people make offers? All those different kinds of things on, both eBay and other platforms. I think now do y'all sell just on eBay?
I think
do. You sell other places, Johnny, right?
Poshmark, Depop, Mercari.
But do you cross post, or are you just listing some stuff to those different platforms?
No, we send everything.
Okay. So you're cross posting to those platforms.
Yeah.
That's right. Which tool is it you use? I don't want to get off into a discussion on tools.
Vendu.
That's right. Okay. So yeah, I know like offers has been a huge part. I feel it's a huge part of my success. I mean, just allowing offers and sending offers. Not everything I sell is due to an offer, but eBay's very offer heavy. I sell on the other platforms as well, and I don't do as much with offers on those platforms, although I do occasionally like get Facebook Marketplace offers or Macari offers, or I guess Poshmark's another one I do a lot of offers on. Do you do offers on eBay, Wes? I mean,
all the time.
And I know, so kind of my strategy on the different platforms, just starting with eBay. So all my listings on eBay, I set up to take offers, and I do put a minimum offer in that I'll take just to weed out, just getting like really low ball offers. I used to not do that, and I would just ignore them, but it's just, I guess, something I can save a little time on the front end by not having to read those messages. And I'll set it a little lower typically than what I'll actually take, just to give me like the ability to come back and do a counter offer. And then I send out offers pretty much as soon as, it pops up in your dashboard that you can send an offer to somebody. And typically, I think I mentioned, I've started doing free shipping again on everything on eBay. That's one of the platforms I do free shipping on. So pretty much my standards on the free shipping items, I send out a 15% off offer. Then Etsy, I don't really deal with too much offers, even though I've got it set up to allow offers up to 20%, but I don't know that I've ever got an offer on Etsy. People just seem to always pay full price. Plus, I charge shipping on Etsy, so I do like when I sell something on Etsy because that's where I really get my highest dollar. Then Poshmark, it's all pretty much driven by offers on Poshmark, as you probably know, Johnny. I use Posher VA, I think is the one I use, and it so it sends offers out automatically, and I can't remember what my percentage is set out, but it does that, like whatever the highest discounted shipping you can do.
$5.95.
Yeah, and most of my sales on Poshmark probably come from offers, and then Macari and Facebook Marketplace, I get a few offers, but most of that stuff's full price too.
Yeah, we have a very odd strategy. When Lizzie posts, it's with best offers. We don't put a minimum, and a lot of that is if things sit for a while. If something's been sitting for 9 or 10 months and it's listed for $20 and someone sends us 8, depending upon the day, we might just take it and move it and be done with it. One of the things we do that a lot with is shoes. When we first got into reselling, we used to go to the bins and fill carts and carts of shoes. And we were like dealing with Dalton, just shoes. And then we hit this rut where we started getting a lot of complaints for dry rot, where people were wearing them for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it would pass the bend test, but it really wouldn't pass the full-blown wear test. And we were getting dinged left and right. So we kind of backed off of shoes. So now if we get an offer on shoes, we take it and just move it so they don't rot in our garage. But anything Lizzie posts has the best offer. Anything I post, typically I don't put a best offer. And the only reason for that is they end up becoming a watcher in a lot of cases, and then we'll send offers. And then when we post on Poshmark, we price it a couple dollars higher than we do on eBay, knowing that it's going to be very heavy offers, and Poshmark's taking 20% on top of it.
Speaking of watchers, why do you think people won't just purchase the item or send an offer and they just become a watcher? What do you think their goal is in doing that?
I think there can be a couple of reasons. I know sometimes it's probably just somebody who's another reseller watching it to see if it sells for a certain price. Mm-hmm. But I personally think that's not as high as some people make it out to be. It's the closest you can do. Well, you can add stuff to your cart on eBay too, I guess. But I think a lot of people treat watching it as cart, and they're still comping either the same thing to see if they can find it cheaper, or they just haven't decided if that's the exact thing they want. They may want something similar, but by watching it, and then people also know that if they watch it, they're going to get an offer. Most people on eBay know that. So I think you're also watching it to see if you're going to get an offer for a lower price. So that'd be the reasons I think people watch. I'm sure there's other reasons too.
I was shopping for a couple new shirts last week, and anytime I saw a shirt I liked, I watched it. And part of that, to your point, Stuart, was it kind of kept like, what was I looking at?
Yeah.
So I could go back and see what I'm watching and be like, okay, I like that shirt. I like that shirt. The other part was a couple of them didn't have or best offers on. So I liked it to see if they would come back at me with an offer. And then some of them that did have best offers, I wanted to see what they would send to see where we were at in negotiating, kind of like you make the first move.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So one more question on offers, Johnny. When y'all send the offers, do y'all check the box to then send that to any future watchers too, or do you just do it as a one-off and then?
No, we just do it as a one-off.
Okay, I always check the box. So
the only reason we don't is a lot of what we accept, and if we counter, is like the mood or how sales are going. If it's 7:00 at night and we haven't had a sale yet today, and someone sends in something that we probably would have countered on, we might just take it.
yeah,
But had it been a busy day and things were good, we may say, no, we want $6 more for it, or whatever the case may be. So we're very, you probably shouldn't be, we're very emotional in our selling, not just our buying.
well, the one thing I do like about offers is the fact you have 24 hours to respond. So, especially when you're cross posting like we are, it gives you, and that I for sure don't check the box about automatically accepting offers, because, I certainly don't want to do that, because then, but I'm kind of the same way. Just because I have 24 hours, it's not like I'm always waiting till 23 hours and 59 minutes just to make sure I'm not going to sell it for full price. A lot of times I accept it even right off the bat if I just feel like, it's a fair offer, or, so.
We very rarely wait. Unless it's like, dang, they sent this like, it's a little lower than we wanted, but then we'll sit and kind of stew on it. No pun intended, on it. But other than that, you send it, we're deciding right away. And I know some people will wait almost the whole 24 hours just to see if other offers come in, or if someone else will pay full price. But we tend to be a little hasty with that.
I am curious how some of our audience maybe handles it. Maybe if you want to put in the comments, how you handle offers, or, do you send them out? How do you set up your listings? So, because I know I'm definitely always open to see how other people do it and tweak what I'm doing to make things better. So,
Well, I'm shifting gears real quick, because Stewart, you had mentioned things that sell in the off season. Today I went by and I was trying to do my Johnny video that I promised last week in last week's episode. Yet to be put up. It's not quite ready yet. But I walked in, and this bag, okay, I don't know if you can see it. It's got Christmas wreaths and packages on it. Well, it had a Beanie Baby inside of it. Okay. And Johnny, you're right. I have not learned my lesson, but this is one of those things where Goodwill gives you something, not real good, something okay, and then something pretty good. So, and inside that bag, I found the Rudolph. It's got the tag on it. And then we jump up to, remember this guy?
The guy,
little Yukon Cornelius.
And thinking about things that sell that are not in season, is there anything that's worth really doing that for? Like Johnny's cup there. It's a Christmas. Didn't you say it was like a Christmas or?
Yeah, it's a Christmas village.
Yeah, I don't hold anything on season. I know like people who sell clothes a lot of times, I think will gear what they list towards the upcoming season, but I don't do a lot of clothes. And if I get a bunch of, like I just finished, in fact, listing a bunch of the like B&G Royal Copenhagen Christmas plates, those blue ones that you always see. And I mean, those are really good sellers for me, and they sell year round. I mean, they don't sell for a lot, but you pick them up for 50 cents a dollar and sell them for, $12, $14 each. And, they seem to just consistently go out throughout the year. And I actually sold these hand painted Easter eggs, 2 weeks after Easter, so a whole year, about as far away from Easter as you can get. So,
well, right before we came on, I heard my phone ring, and I had sold this miniature Green Bay Packers helmet. Not too bad.
They do really well for autographs.
Yeah, they really do, and they really do. And the thing about it, it's always football season, right?
Yeah. Especially now that you have the UFL, it's literally always football season.
Right. So I've sold several of those miniature football helmets, which are they're great pickups if you can find them.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Now, speaking of sales, we are at the end of April. So, what was y'all's best sell for April? Do you know off the top of your head?
That one right there wasn't too shabby. That was a pretty good sell for me. I'm going to go with that one.
April was really funny for me. This was I actually had a sell today that pushed me over to where this was my best April I've ever had since I've been keeping records for 7 years now, I think, or 7 or 8 years, how far my spreadsheet goes back. And I'm actually 2 months in a row now having my best month. And it'd been a while since I'd done that. January, February, March, I think 2 years ago were actually my best from those months. But even though this was my best April, I really didn't. I was looking back at my sales and I didn't have any big sales that stuck out. My highest dollar sale was only $85, and it was a vintage Epson computer system that I sold at the in-person auction. I consigned it to an auction house here in town. But as far as my online sales, it's just a lot of $25 to $40 sales. I think looking my biggest boost sale was $60 was all it was. And it was an old Bakelite telephone, from the 30s probably. And then looking at online, it was a sheet music set. It was these 1913, it was literally a stack about this tall of sheet music from 1913. It was a progressive learning series, I guess, that you go through. So, but I jotted down, I had 383 sales for the month of April. So it was just, volume, which,
How much of that, Stewart, can you attribute to being on the Finders Flippers here? Because, we were considered at the lowest point just a few weeks ago, and now we've risen past mediocre just a tick, just a little bit. We have, at last check, I think it's 42 subscribers now, and so shout out to every single one of you all that are subscribing to us here on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast. We really do appreciate you doing that for us. And please tell others to come join us here on the podcast.
And I think along those same lines, I think last week's episode was our, third most viewed at this point, even though it hasn't been out as long as some of the others. So yeah, I feel like we're getting better and people are finding us. But yeah, as far as I would say I can attribute 1.89% of my sales to this podcast. So
there you go. I like it. Johnny?
One of the hockey jerseys that I picked up at the garage sale a couple of weeks back sold for $160, but I had 50 into it, so a little bit bigger there.
Which team was that, Johnny?
The Carolina. They were all three of them were Carolina Hurricane jerseys, and one was a Hartford Whalers jersey. But it was from the Stadium Series, so when they had the outdoor game last year or the year before. But we did this week. We sold an Arc'teryx jacket for $132, and it should definitely be on your BOLO list. 100% BOLO, and the logo is like a skeleton prehistoric bird, kind of like something that would be on your shirt, Stewart.
Yeah, along with my pagodas and here. So yeah, so it's funny you bring up bowling, Johnny. Actually the same estate sale I get this shirt at. I found this bowling bag, which is like the most elaborate, coolest bowling bag that I've ever seen in my life.
Wow!
Oh wow!
That's an added bonus.
Is that like the Mexico
I
flag?
see the American Eagle or something.
No, it's like a Mayan. It's more like a phoenix rising from the ashes or something. And
well, we got to see the ball. You can't just show us the bag. You're going to have to show us the ball.
Then it's got an Aztec calendar on this side or a Mayan calendar.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's
that almost looks like Elvis Presley's one of his jumpsuits he wore. That Aztec suit.
and it came with some bowling shoes.
Oh,
So
Nice.
those will probably be gotten rid of. Actually, I'll probably just sell the bag because I know bowling balls, if they're already been drilled, it's hard to sell because they don't fit. But yeah, here's the ball that was in it. So
Wow.
okay, he's holding it. See, proper hold.
hey,
Were there any like old scores or anything in there?
let's just see. I haven't really looked in here. Let's see what we got here. No, this is the tag, I guess, that came with the shoes. Now it looks like that's some dead spiders in here. It looks like.
No.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean that bowling. They must have been serious to have this bowling bag. I mean
that ball matches your shirt.
So yeah, I'll keep you posted on the bowling bag too. What I decide to do with it. I think I'll probably
that's awesome.
I think I'll probably list it online though, and just get rid of the ball. So maybe we can throw it off the building when we throw the mugs.
I was getting ready to say what you're going to do, go down to the Tennessee River and give it a chuck.
That's cool. That's really. What did you pay for it?
Once again, I mean, I would say like when I assign cost of goods sold to it, it'll probably be like $5 or $10. I mean, I probably spent 500 and something total. Everything I bought, but I got 400 items. I mean, it was a ton. It was 2 days, 2 carload fulls of stuff. So yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I try to just kind of divide equally out, per item and take a cost of goods value. But I mean, I think they actually had $10 on it, and we bought it on half price day. So I guess it was $5 is what we paid for it. So.
Gentlemen, looking forward to this weekend. Are you contemplating going to more estate sales? Are you looking at doing some sourcing at Goodwills, yard sales? What are you looking to do this weekend? Johnny, I'll start with you.
So I am actually meeting a buddy, and we are going to Charlotte for a little boys' weekend. But I think I'm going to sneak to Charlotte a little bit early and get a little Frizzy's finds on before. Needless to say, when my buddy flies in, he doesn't want to go thrifting with me. It's not his opportunity, but we very rarely get a chance to thrift in the Charlotte area. So just kind of seeing different thrift stores and see what's there. If there happens to be any garage sales popping in, I might do that if there's any Friday ones. But just going to check out the Charlotte thrift scene a little bit Friday.
Yeah, and there's actually 2 things working against me for any kind of sourcing this weekend. I mean, first off, it's supposed to rain Friday and Saturday here. Pretty good chance, I think. And then second, it's the big antique festival in Clinton this weekend. So I'll be working both Friday and Saturday at that. So I really won't have time. I can hit a few yard sales on Friday morning on my way to Clinton, but the fact it's supposed to rain is probably going to limit what I'll actually see out there. So for the most part, I'll be working all weekend in Clinton at the festival at Granny's Attic Antiques. So yeah, just a real quick plug, if anybody happens to be in the Knoxville area, the Spring Antique Festival is a pretty big deal. They'll close down all the streets. They'll have food vendors, live music. They'll have street vendors out, and then all the antique malls in Clinton run big sales, over the weekend. So it's a pretty fun time if you happen to be close by and looking for something to do.
Well, just like people's yard sales, the weather, they pay attention to that, and we're not going to do it this weekend. We'll just put it off till next weekend. How is it going to hurt, or do you think it'll hurt that thing you all have going in Clinton?
I mean, what I've seen in the past, I mean, 'cause it rains every year at the Spring Festival, it seems like. I'm sure that like there's some people who say, hey, it's raining, I'm not going to go to Clinton and go to the festival. But really, for the most part, I think people still come, and it really hurts the outside vendors more than it does the people with, booths in the malls like I have. it really drives, especially if it's like pretty to start the day and then it rains, that drives everybody inside to the malls and, you'll get really, really busy. But yeah, it pretty much rains every year at the spring one. In fact, last year on Friday, it was pretty in the morning, about 11:30, like a huge storm blew up and there were tents like blowing. I mean, I felt so bad for the outside vendors. They spend all that time setting up and then a lot of them just like got stuff destroyed. The wind blew so hard.
Well, gentlemen, whatever you do get into this weekend, I hope it's a success. Johnny, you be careful and have a good trip to Charlotte. And hopefully, Stewart, everything will stay battened down for everybody out there in Clinton for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good weekend, and then kind of a little bonus for us. My daughter's coming in from Houston. There had some friends of ours having a baby shower for her, and so we'll get to see her. She comes in like late Friday and leaves early Sunday morning. So I'm going to work half a day on Saturday at the festival, so I can spend some time with her after the baby shower's over. But yeah, looking forward to seeing her. So should be a fun weekend.
Well, that is all the time that we have on the Finders Flippers Resell podcast. Thank you for joining us, Johnny and Stewart. I hope you all have a great weekend this weekend.
Thanks. And hey, just a reminder to everybody, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like the video, and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate everybody watching us today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening, gentlemen.
See you.
Bye, guys.